Welcome to IAYTD and welcome to Word Up. Today we are covering a series of words that are not really entertainment focused, and they're not even really international. They're specifically about the United States. So this might be interesting to those of you that are not from here, but it probably won't be. This is just something that's super confusing in the United States, and I thought I would break it down. So today we're covering different types of roads, so different freeways, byways, parkways, and what that means. So we're going to start with the most simple, highway. Highways are public access roadways which may include tolls intended to help navigate nearby travel. So highways have on and off points everywhere. So it might just be roads that intersect, you can turn on to them. It might be stoplights, intersections. They have things everywhere where you can come and go. Highways are not intended for long distance travel because there's so many stops. Close to a highway is something called a parkway. A parkway, like a highway, is a public access roadway, often, though not always, landscaped or traveling through scenic or recreational areas. So that's how parkway began, where it was kind of a highway maybe through a scenic route, but it is no longer that way because things have been developed and built up, and so things that were parkways now run through cities. So the term parkway is relatively antiquated and not really used much anymore. Next up is what we call a byway. A byway is an optional side route, usually for those hoping to see a historical site or a landmark or specific geographical occurrences, not intended for quick travel. So this is when you take an alternate route that maybe goes by something you've been wanting to see. So maybe it's an old building or maybe it's a mountain range. Who knows what it could be. So this is a kind of scenic route detour. Now, all of these routes so far have been not for quick travel. So what is there to get us from one point to the other as quick as possible? This is where we get freeways. Freeways are public access roadways that are usually free to traverse and have restricted entrances and exits, such as on and off ramps. Now, I say usually free to traverse because these used to be kind of the way to travel without paying for tolls, but lately, there have been things called express lanes. There are ways to pay for certain freeways. Certain sections might be tolled. So freeways are no longer completely free always. And freeways are meant for quick travel because you can't just come and go whenever you want. It's meant to be going with select on and off ramps to get you onto the freeway. Now, here's kind of why I made this video, because I'm confused. What is the difference between a freeway and then an interstate freeway? So a freeway that's labeled I something. So in California, we have tons of I-5, I-10. What do those mean? An interstate freeway is a series of nationwide freeways designed to help long-term travel over the course of many states. For example, I-5 runs through Washington State, Oregon, and California. Now, the term interstate really comes from way back in 1921 when they decided we need to build infrastructure to get people across the country quickly. So they kind of laid out, here is the best routes, and we're going to build them, right? So these are going to be the quick ways that people could travel, and we're going to call those interstates. But since then, new freeways have started to connect states, but they weren't part of the interstate program. So some freeways now will likely cover state to state, but they weren't part of the interstate program. So in a nutshell, interstate was a brand. It was a program from back in the 1920s that's no longer really used. So some freeways have the name interstate, but a lot of freeways are actually interstate freeways. So hopefully that makes sense. Those are just some of the different roads that we have here, and I'm not going to tackle them all, but those are the ones that are often confusing. And again, I'm not an expert in this, but hopefully that clarifies some things. So thanks for watching Word Up. We'll see you next time.